Tonight, an electrical fault closes down Port Pirie's ANZ Bank, customers not happy at the inconvenience. And calls to support the Silver City Cinema in their bid to get more locals into the movies.
This is Southern Cross News with Tim Hatfield.
Good evening. Port Pirie's ANZ Bank is experiencing troubles with the electricity supply and will remain closed to the public until further notice. And the company has blamed a fault in a fan for the temporary closure of the branch, dispelling rumours of something more sinister. Rachel Nell has more details.
The ANZ Bank here in Port Pirie was closed on Monday after an electrical fault caused a problem with a fan inside the building. The malfunctioning fan put the health and safety of employees and customers at risk, leaving the bank with no option but to shut up shop. And the branch won't reopen until the company's safety standards are appropriately met. Local customers unhappy with the temporary inconvenience.
Don't like the inconvenience this bank's being closed has caused me, because I can't get any cash out, because I can't remember my PIN numbers because they gave me new ones, and I won't be staying with this bank.
The company has apologised, saying people can bank at post services available through the Port Pirie Post Office. You can withdraw or deposit money over the counter there with no surcharge as long as you have an active EFTPOS card. However, the money won't appear on the bank statement for 24 hours, but is still spendable. While maintenance is underway, bankers may need to travel to the next closest branches at Jamestown or Port Augusta to be able to visit an ANZ teller. Alternatively, customers are able to withdraw cash at the ATM located at the Port Pirie Centro. ANZ says no one was injured during the electrical fault, and the company is yet to determine the cost in damages, and it's still unclear when the bank will reopen.
Rachel Nell reporting there. South Australia's Water Minister says only an independent review will get to the bottom of what's been going on with the Darling River's mismanagement. Ian Hunter says he was shocked about the extent of alleged water thefts and corruption from senior officials in New South Wales, labelling it a disgrace. The New South Wales Water Minister Niall Blair says he has directed the state's Department of Industry to look into the allegations made by the ABC on Monday, but Mr Hunter says an independent review is needed.
South Australia has called for the Prime Minister to call an urgent meeting of COAG and to make sure that COAG commissions an independent judicial review, and an independent judicial review that will look at ways for the Commonwealth to step in and make sure they have a role in metering and compliance activities of the states.
Whyalla police have shown off a haul of illegal drugs and dangerous weapons confiscated from a man on Sunday. Items found included a taser, a knuckle duster and a baton, which police say could have caused serious harm.
Batons are dangerous weapons even in the right hands, so it's no surprise police want to keep them off the street. A similar one to this was amongst a number of dangerous weapons found during a search of a Whyalla Stewart property on Monday.
Police located methamphetamine, an extendable baton, a set of knuckle dusters, a homemade taser and a number of items suspected of being stolen.
The search was prompted when a 23-year-old from Whyalla Stewart was arrested for driving offences after refusing to stop on Flinders Avenue. After being arrested at the property, police also found ice along with equipment linked with drug trafficking. While the taser and knuckle dusters may look small, Inspector Hubbard says the items can cause serious injury.
You'll see that these weapons are quite dangerous. Knuckle dusters can cause a lot of damage to a person, and a taser can obviously cause a lot of harm.
And members of the public are being encouraged to call Crime Stoppers if they see dangerous items.
It's good to get these weapons off the street, and if anyone's got any information of anyone who might have weapons like this, we would encourage them to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
The 23-year-old man was remanded in custody and appeared before the Whyalla Magistrates Court yesterday. He was refused bail and will again appear in court in August. John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Port Lincoln police are ramping up their operations to catch drink drivers after 6 drunk motorists were caught in the last week. The local superintendent issuing a firm message to the public about those who jeopardise their lives and the lives of others on the road.
A blunt warning to those who get behind the wheel after drinking. You will get caught. Port Lincoln Police are stepping up their patrols and have drunk drivers firmly in their sights after 14 motorists were arrested last month, blowing over the legal limit.
It's immensely disappointing. Despite our constant road safety messages, we still find people who drink and drive.
Their disappointment turning to anger, catching a learner driver 4 times over the limit, then a man who had been disqualified from driving back behind the wheel and over 5 times the limit to drive. Police say they won't tolerate this kind of behaviour.
We'll be running special operations, every patrol car conduct an alcohol test and detect drink drivers, and we have Highway Patrol here, of course, who'll continue their activities to detect drink drivers.
In the last week alone, patrols nabbed 6 people who were drunk behind the wheel. They're again forced to remind the public of the ramifications of placing others at risk.
We will impound your car, you will receive an instant loss of licence, and you will front the courts for a possible licence disqualification and a hefty fine.
But it's not just alcohol police are targeting. People who use drugs and drive are also on their radar. Patrols upping their presence on the road in a bid to force anyone to reconsider the deadly impacts of driving under the influence.
We're going to continue to target drink drivers and those people who place their lives and the lives of other road users in jeopardy.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us. Still to come in tonight's local news, calls to support the Silver Cities Cinema in its bid to get more locals with disabilities and the elderly into the movies. The details ahead. Welcome back. The South Australian Arid Lands Board has launched a 10-year plan with a goal to involve local communities in managing SA's natural resources. Titled It's Your Place, the plan will be rolled out across the region north of Whyalla and Port Augusta.
The SA Arid Lands Board looks after more than half of the land in SA, and they've just released their 10-year plan named It's Your Place. The board says this time they plan to involve those in the community more than ever.
The majority of the work that's gone into the project has actually been out talking to people and listening to people, getting their views about what's really important of the natural resources in the region.
The most common piece of feedback around natural resource management that those living in the Arid Lands region want to have their say.
It's not just for the board to tick off on, it's for everyone to actually have some guidance and direction around how we should be making decisions around natural resource management for the whole region.
6 district groups have been set up to link the board and the community.
And they're kind of the conduit between the board and the community and the board. So we will use those as a great mechanism to keep engaging with the community.
Alongside the plan launch in Port Augusta, the board announced 15 grants for the region.
We've got some fantastic community native revegetation grants, a couple in Andamuka and Maree, which is going to engage people in designing the right kind of flora for their community.
Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
Peterborough's main road is under construction with new shop fronts and facades being installed. The aim to brighten up the town is so far looking successful, and visitors are now investing back into the community.
The once struggling town of Peterborough has been given new life with the $1 million Main Street makeover. Shop fronts have been upgraded with the help from business owners.
At the moment, we're doing up all the shops on one side of the main street, and we are painting and repairing the facades. That's the top portion above the verandas.
We've brought them back to a heritage style, and that's like a bullnose, and at the same time, but working also with the landowners of the businesses there.
As a part of the redevelopment, stretches of footpaths will be extended to create outdoor dining areas, and free Wi-Fi has also been installed.
We've got workers running all over the place, which is great because it makes the place look vibrant. It's given interest for our ratepayers and residents, and we have lots and lots of visitors coming through.
And now tourists travelling through Peterborough are spending a night or two in the town, staying at the free caravan and RV site, which was added as a part of the recent upgrade.
And I think it's changed the confidence and the perception of the community there, but more so for visitors going through, they see a far more attractive community.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Broken Hill's local cinema is raising money to improve disability access. The Silver City Cinema wants to install an elevator in the building to allow the elderly and people with disabilities to come and enjoy the movies.
Broken Hill's only cinema is in desperate need of a lift.
We're
been having problems with the elderly and disabled children and disabled people coming to the cinema and accessing the cinema to watch a movie.
The Silver City Cinema is looking at a new disabled lift or a chair lift to improve accessibility for the city's older population and disabled people. For years, the cinema has stood the test of time, outlasting all of its competitors around town. Producers of Mad Max 2, which was filmed in the region, actually used the cinema to review footage they had shot during the day.
What comes about here is that we own the place, we'll always own the place. What is going to be installed in here will stay in the hands of the Broken Hill public, Patrick, and that's what it's all about.
At their own expense, John and Ashton have already built a ramp to allow wheelchair access into the front part of the cinema and have also installed disabled toilets.
But we've put in a new sound system and it's getting a bit too loud downstairs for them. So they asked if somehow we can go upstairs.
A GoFundMe page has been set up to raise money for the elevator, with almost $3,000 already donated over the last 3 days. The target is $25,000 to cover costs, and John says the money donated will benefit the Broken Hill community.
Whatever they donate, I haven't got control of it, but their money is secure, whatever they donate, and it's for the Broken Hill cause.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us. When we return after the break, the program helping country girls get some big city experience in leadership. How you can be involved next. Welcome back. Port Augusta Council has launched a new visitor guide as both a glossy magazine and an app. Council is hoping it will increase visitor spending and give those coming through the town an idea of what to do and where to stay.
Port Augusta's new visitor guide is getting in touch with more digital-savvy travellers. With a high demand for online information, the guide has now been released as an app.
Staff have been working with a contractor for the last 3 to 4 months on the visitor guide. It contains a lot of information around places to stay, things to do, and encouraging people to stay and visit Port Augusta.
The first edition since 2014, the pages give those coming through town information about local businesses and Port Augusta's history, saying it's a city to be discovered.
It is about the community, it's the community's guide, not the council's guide, and about promoting what is available within our community.
The guide highlights local attractions including the Pirie Railway, the Wadlata Outback Centre and where to find local art.
But also the Arid Lands, Australian Arid Lands Botanic Garden is a showcase for our region, but acknowledging that we have a beautiful Gulf and the Flinders Ranges as our backdrops.
With most travellers jumping online before they jump in the car, the Port Augusta Council has also launched the Wadlata Outback Centre's new website where visitors can download the guide. Amelia Simpson, Southern Cross News.
The Port Lincoln Hotel has been given a top honour at the Hotel Association Awards overnight, the annual awards celebrating the best hotels across South Australia.
The Port Lincoln Hotel doesn't have a long history, but it's certainly a decorated one. Last night, the hotel added to their wall of awards, taking out Best Country Experience and Presentation.
It's always good to receive recognition, but we're pretty confident in what we do here, so that's the cherry on the top, so to speak.
The cherry proving part of the hotel's success, moving in a new direction, something everyone can enjoy.
We've actually started doing a dessert bar now on Fridays and Saturdays, so that's been a big part of the development in creating a more family-friendly atmosphere here in Sharkies.
The hotel has a strong community focus, many staff participating in the recent Vinnie's Sleep Out, their teamwork proving the key to success.
There is a lot of work that goes into it, but in saying that, there's no one person that's solely responsible. It is an operation this size at the Port Lincoln Hotel. It takes many hands to make light work.
Last night's awards were attended by 800 people, representing the best hotels in the state. The Port Lincoln staff enjoying their regional win.
There have been a few celebrations last night over in Adelaide when we won the award. There might be a few sore heads today, but it's back on the horse, so to speak, and moving forward as always.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Schoolgirls from our region are being encouraged to apply for a program that could see them rubbing shoulders with some of the country's most powerful women. The Country to Canberra Power Trip takes 10 young women to the nation's capital to encourage them to consider a career in public life and leadership.
Women in Australia make up just 1/4 of board positions and 1/3 of federal parliament seats. But there's a push underway to improve the imbalance, and it's taking place right in our backyard. Country to Canberra is working with high school-age girls across regional Australia, inspiring them to become decision makers.
We've made sure that whether girls are in the country or go off to the city, that we continue inspiring them, we continue supporting them, and that's what it's all about.
10 girls will travel to Canberra, meeting federal politicians and CEOs, and undertaking leadership and public speaking courses. Organisers are looking for a 400-word essay on how strong pathways for women from the schoolyard to Parliament can be created. Ms Wandell says the girls walk away with the knowledge they can be leaders.
Young women really are inspired when they meet these role models. They think, hey, I can do this, I can be a leader myself, I can take on these skills and I can implement them.
Wyler's Isabella Hall, who now studies journalism, travelled to Canberra last year as one of the participants. She says the visit has inspired her to get into public life and has also changed the way she thinks about the world.
Going in that competition definitely helped me gain a lot of confidence and inspired me to go for a more political kind of approach to my studies.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
A rising Australian dollar and low oil prices have seen fuel prices hit 9-month lows, but analysts are saying it won't get much better and any relief will likely be temporary. Here's Patrick with this week's Fuel Watch.
Well, the national average of unleaded petrol fell by almost a cent over the past week. It's now at 122.2 a litre. The regional average also saw a drop to 125.1, but many towns across the Spencer Gulf are paying a bit more. Even though they are on their way down, Port Lincoln is 2 cents dearer than the regional average, at 127. Whyalla and Port Augusta are holding steady on $1.25, while Port Pirie continues to stay very cheap on $1.18. Kadina are well and truly below the average, the price hovering in the mid-teens. Broken Hill has dropped by a cent, and in Adelaide the price is nearing $1 a litre and is currently $1.04. To diesel and Port Lincoln, Whyalla and Port Augusta have all seen no movement. Port Pirie has had a good week with almost a 3 cent decline, putting them on $1.19. Kadina is the cheapest at the moment, while Broken Hill is the most expensive and the only one to see red. And it was a modest week for Adelaide, with the SA capital going down by a cent and a bit. Now be sure to remember that these prices are the regional averages and they do not reflect any one particular outlet. If you do find a spot that does sell unleaded or diesel for cheaper, be sure to let us know on our Facebook page. Tim.
Thanks, Pat. We'll stay with us after the break. The local weather for the rest of the week and the weekend. Welcome back to the weather now. Another sunny day today, 20 the top in Port Augusta and 18 today for Whyalla and for Port Lincoln. Port Pirie getting to 17 and a sunny 19 today in Broken Hill. On the national satellite image, a high right over the region is keeping things fairly clear, though a cloud band is pushing in from the west. Out on the waters, the winds to 20 knots and northerly, the seas to 1.5 metres and to the south. Sunrise is at 17 minutes past 7. So a bit warmer tomorrow, 24 the top in Port Augusta and 23 for Whyalla. Port Lincoln, possible showers and 20 as well. Some wind and 21 for Port Pirie. Broken Hill also 21 and mainly fine. They're looking at the next few days. Fine to wrap up the week in Port Lincoln and 22 ahead of showers into Sunday. Cleve fine and 23, then also with showers over the weekend. Woodton up to 26 to wrap up the week, then 22 for Saturday. Whyalla wrapping up the week a bit under a bit of cloud, 22 degrees at the top, then a fine 23 on Saturday. Port Augusta 24 both days and mainly sunny. Kadina 12 both days with some showers pushing across. Port Pirie with 21 the top on Friday, then it may get wet and windy into Saturday with 24, similar but cooler for Clare, 18 then at 20. Broken Hill fine and 22 for Friday, then a windy 26 degrees on Saturday. And that is the local news for this Wednesday evening. Don't forget you can stay up to date with us on Facebook and on Twitter, and you can catch past bulletins online as well. We'll see you back here tomorrow night from 6:30. I'm Tim Hatfield from the team here at Southern Cross News. Have a good evening. Good night.